What if one day you came face to face with yourself? Not a reflection, not a hallucination, but a living, breathing copy staring back at you with cold, empty eyes. What would you do? These aren't just stories from the distant past or folklore, no. These are real, spine-chilling encounters with doppelgangers. And by the end of this video, you might find yourself glancing over your shoulder, wondering if your double is out there too. Our first story takes us back to 1845. At the prestigious Pensionat von Neuvelki boarding school in Latvia, the students adored their new teacher, Emily Sagi. But soon, admiration turned to fear as something unexplainable began to happen. Emily's doppelganger, a perfect double, started appearing beside her while she was completely unaware. Imagine sitting in class watching your teacher write on the board and then suddenly, there are two of them. The figure was identical to Emily but slightly off. Its movements were delayed, its gaze vacant. Some students tried to explain it away, but more and more of them started seeing the same thing. Emily, but not Emily, appearing in two places at once. Now let me ask you, what would you do in that situation? Would you tell someone? Would you try to leave, or would you sit there, too terrified to even breathe? Comment below what you would do. Things escalated one afternoon. During a sewing class, 42 students witnessed Emily's doppelganger standing behind her, mimicking her every move. But when some students bravely approached the double, they noticed something strange. When they reached out, their hands passed right through it, as though it wasn't even real. Yet, it was there, solid, visible, terrifying, and it didn't end there. The most chilling incident came when one student glanced out the window and saw Emily in the garden picking flowers, except Emily was still in the classroom, teaching at that very moment. It was impossible, but it was happening right in front of their eyes. After multiple reports, parents became concerned. The school dismissed Emily not because of her teaching but because of the fear her doppelganger brought. She moved from place to place, but wherever she went, the sightings followed. Emily Sagi never saw her doppelganger herself, but others did, again and again. Now tell me, do you think this doppelganger was a part of Emily's spirit? Or was it something darker, something that wanted to replace her? Let me know your thoughts below. Our next story is much more recent and might make you question every interaction you have with friends from now on. Sarah was excited for a quiet night in with her best friend Rachel. It was their usual Friday movie night, nothing out of the ordinary, until something terrifying happened. Rachel arrived right on time like always. Sarah didn't suspect a thing. The two of them hung out in the kitchen, made popcorn and sat on the couch laughing about the week. Everything felt normal. Until Sarah's phone rang. It was Rachel. The real Rachel. Calling to say she was running late. Sarah froze. Her eyes slowly turned toward the figure sitting next to her, the person she had been chatting with for the past 20 minutes. Whoever, or whatever, was beside her wasn't Rachel. But it looked just like her. Sarah's heart raced. She didn't know what to do. She wanted to scream, to run, but something told her not to move. The figure beside her remained calm, as if nothing was wrong. How would you react? Would you confront it? Would you run? Or would you try to pretend nothing was happening? Gathering her courage, Sarah turned to confront the doppelganger, her heart pounding in her chest. But the moment she turned, it was gone. No noise, no movement, just an empty couch and the eerie feeling that something unnatural had been there. Sarah's real friend arrived moments later, and the two were left shaken and confused. To this day, Sarah can't explain what happened, but here's the terrifying part. There have been countless other stories of doppelgangers showing up just like this. What if it had never left? So, what do you think? Was this a harmless glitch in reality, or was it something much darker, something sinister? Have you ever experienced something like this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Even the great minds of history have been haunted by the unknown. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, one of Germany's most famous writers, had an eerie encounter with his own doppelganger that would haunt him for years. It happened one evening as he was riding along a quiet country road, lost in thought. Out of the mist, another rider appeared, dressed in strange, unfamiliar clothing. As the figure came closer, Goethe's heart nearly stopped. He was staring at himself. The rider was an exact copy of Goethe, but dressed in unfamiliar clothes. Without saying a word, the two passed each other, and the doppelganger disappeared into the fog. Goethe was shaken but didn't tell anyone what he had seen. Could it have been a trick of the mind, or had he really seen his own double? He didn't know. But then, years later, something strange happened. Years later, Goethe found himself riding down that same road again. This time, he was wearing the very clothes his doppelganger had worn in the vision. It was as though he had glimpsed his future self. But was it just a strange coincidence, or had Goethe experienced something far more supernatural? Some say doppelgangers are omens of death, while others believe they're glitches in reality. But one thing's for sure, encounters with them leave a lasting impression. What do you think Goethe saw? His future self or something trying to manipulate his fate? These stories raise chilling questions about reality, identity, and the unknown. Is there a darker side to our world, one where doppelgangers walk among us, unseen until it's too late? If you ever see your own double, consider it a warning. Until next time, stay safe. And remember, always watch your back. You never know when you might catch a glimpse of yourself in the shadows. This is Whispers of Weird. Make sure to subscribe if you dare.